Welcome to Behind the Crown Podcast with your hosts, Brian Hudson and Josh Griffin. Sit back and enjoy these great stories and memories of the Kingsmen Quartet.
Welcome to this episode of Behind the Crown Podcast with your hosts, Josh Griffin and Brian Hudson. Yes, sir.
This is the Behind the Crown podcast, and this podcast is dedicated to the message, the men, and the music of the mighty Kingsmen Quartet. Kingsmen are celebrating 70 years, and a lot of great things coming from the group this year, and we're excited about this podcast. And Josh, we've been having a blast, brother. I mean, it's been good. We've had a good run so far, and looking forward to a lot of great guests coming up. And we were just talking before that we started recording tonight that we're planning some special episodes on some tribute episodes and some of the guys that's passed. We're going to do some special episodes on iconic songs that Kingsmen had through the years. You know, what's funny to me, Josh, so many of the groups that are coming out now. In fact, I heard one the other day. There's a quartet that's pretty well known, and their current radio song is an old Kingsman song from the 70s. And And so some of the younger ones, they think these songs are new. And a lot of them came from the catalog of the Kingsmen. So I think that's pretty cool, you know?
Yes, it is. Yes,
well, before we get to our special guest tonight, Josh, I have to ask, because it has been going around, the interwebs have been blowing up, Josh. People want to know what is our piece of useless information on the podcast.
Added together, humans spend about 2 weeks of their lifetime kissing.
Kissing?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
how about that? Yeah.
2 weeks of their life kissing.
Yes. If you added all the time up in their average lifetime, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so as our co-host here, Brian, probably everybody knows, especially if you don't sing at Sea Cruise, Brian and his wife Yvonne host the Newlywed Game.
Yeah.
So there you go. Feel free to.
That might be a good question that we could ask and see if they would get the same answer. You know.
There you go. Yeah, I'll be sure to text that
Josh,
to you. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned you mentioned a piece of useless information. I found one today that I've got to share on the podcast.
All right.
It's illegal to own only one guinea pig in Switzerland because it would get lonely if you owned one. So you cannot own just one guinea pig in Switzerland because it might get lonely. So you've got to own at least 2 guinea pigs.
Wow.
Now that's kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, and I have a connection with pigs. Okay. So our 3 granddaughters have been showing pigs for the last 2 years at the county fair. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. You know,
that's big doings out in this part too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They started it 2 years ago. I didn't think they would stick with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've told this on any of the podcast episodes, but their first 2 pigs were Bingo and Muffin from the Bluey cartoon.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And the pigs they had this past year, 2025, was Dolly, as in Dolly Parton. And Elvis Porksley was the name of their other pig.
That's pretty neat there.
So we got, in fact, our granddaughters tonight are at the barn about 8 miles from their house waiting on more piggies to be born. So I've called my granddaughters and they keep saying, "Poppy, we're at the barn. We can't talk." You know, so it's a pretty big deal over there. So
that sounds like a very big doings for them.
Oh yeah. So if you're gonna go to Switzerland, Josh, you can't just buy 1 guinea pig. You got to buy 2 guinea pigs.
Go ahead and get 2 of them. Yes, sir.
No. Okay. Josh, we got to know, what would you name the guinea pigs? If you had 2 guinea pigs, what would you name them? Boy and a girl, what would you name them?
Let's do, oh, that's a good question. Let's do 2 Kingsmen names, shall we? I don't know. Let's see. Of course, Big Jim had to be one of them.
Yeah, Big Jim. And maybe little Ernie and Big Jim.
Yeah, little Ernie and Big Jim. There you go. Yeah. And they get 2 more with them, get them a baritone and a bass singer. Yeah.
Well, we got a bass singer right here, Josh.
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna say it.
Yes.
Well, Josh, who is our special guest on the podcast tonight?
Yeah. None other Mr. Drew Laney, a wonderful bass singer. Drew, how about it, sir? Good to have you in tonight, sir.
Yes, sir. It's good to be here. I couldn't be more excited.
But we know your time at home is very valuable, so we appreciate you joining us, brother. We really do.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
And every Kingsman that's ever been didn't really start on the Kingsman bus. You know, you didn't wake up one day and all of a sudden, okay, you're with the Kingsmen and you're on the bus, but you had to start somewhere. So where did your love of music start? And kind of take us back in time a little bit and give us a rundown of where it really started for you.
Well, I'd say my love of music, I was born with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
My great grandma had a Southern gospel group that she sung with just locally. They sung on our local radio stations on Sundays after church. They go down there and sing a few songs and sing at church. And then my mama, her daughter, they had a trio. They actually had a quartet, and then they had a trio with my mama and my two great aunts, her sisters. So when I was born, my dad loved Southern gospel music. And when my mom married my dad, she loved Southern gospel music. So I grew up around it. But other than hearing my grandma sing in church and stuff, my big start as far as, you know, when I fell in love with it, was at my grandma's house. She would watch us. So after school, like in daycare, I think I went to like lunchtime, and then they'd pick us up. My mom would pick me up. Well, she would take me to my grandma's house, and she took care of me while my parents worked. And there was a guy named Mr. Bud Helms, and he actually sung with my grandma when they had a little quartet. And he had a bunch of tapes, Southern gospel tapes, local recordings. He was kind of the tape dealer, quote unquote. He would swap them out, hand them out. You could, you know, rent them for free. You can have them for however long, and you return them, and he'd hand you a basket more. And you didn't know what you would find. You could ask him for a specific one. He would have it. And then sometimes you'd have it, and it was like, you didn't know what you were going to come across. And he had a bunch of Gaither tapes. And I just remember my grandma had cable TV. So we'd watch Bob the Builder, Walker the Texas Ranger, The Heat, and Matlock. And after that, there was nothing good on TV. So we would put on those tapes. And man, I fell in love. I'll never forget Gaither's Homecoming. That was my first bang. I heard the McCaneys. Boy, I thought that was the craziest thing. I was hooked on Peg like that. She'd get to hollering and crying. I'd look at my grandma, what is going on? And then I got you know, discovering a little bit more in there, and I came across the Perrys. God's Little People. I think her name was, what was it?
Denise
and Lib, Randy, and Tracy. And when I saw Tracy, I was hooked.
That was it.
I couldn't turn back. If you held a gun to my head, I was hooked.
And that video, I think he did the chainsaw on the video.
The chainsaw under the spout where the glory came out.
It comes out.
And she'd be making fun of him. I heard you snore louder than that. And it hooked me. And I don't know. It was just something about the music. I just fell in love. And to be funny, but seriously, I fell in love with Randy Perry. My mom said I would go around the house, and there's little tapings of me, and I'd grab a tissue and act like I was crying, and I'd get her old Bible and stand up there and act like I was preaching. And then we would have the TV pause, and I'd hit play and act like I was him. And I'd get back to singing with him. And,
that's great, man.
And Tracy, man, he just, for someone I've never met, never said a word to, he's made the biggest impact for me. And I never met the dude. And that would be one of the biggest, I guess you wouldn't say regrets, but one, if I can go back in time, the biggest wish was I want to meet that man, because that's the man that hooked me right there. There was nothing about it. He would get just funny on stage, funny, but just like that, the man would bawl his heart out and not be ashamed. And there was just something about Tracy, man. I just loved right away. But then fast forward, I'm trying to, not because we can be here all night talking about this.
That's all right.
But then I got a hold of the Gaithers, and I started listening, came across groups, went into Kingsmen. And you were on there. It was live in Atlanta, I guess, when they were, was that when they were in the Coliseum?
At the Georgia Dome?
And y'all, and y'all did Sail Up High Someday. And I, you know, looking back, I never heard of a Kingsman ending. But when I started researching and stuff, I got what they meant by Kingsman ending. Y'all just like, it was just electric. Like, you could feel it coming through the TV. And here goes some more research. So I fell in love with the Kingsmen, Gold City, but the Kingsmen, I don't know. There was just something about y'all's high energy. Yeah. And then the more I looked into it, Jim Hamill.
Yeah.
And he caught my attention, how he was funny. But the band, the high energy.
Yeah.
How y'all would he would throw that coat off and y'all would sing it 4 or 5 times. And you couldn't put the people in the pews.
No.
They would not sit down.
No.
You could sing it 100 times. And you could tell them, guys, sit down, I'm done singing. They would, and it was just something about the Kingsmen. They just had that.
Yeah.
And so then I just fell in love even more.
Man, that's awesome. And you know, about Tracy, Tracy was one of those guys. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago, but he was one of those guys that probably didn't. I mean, he at some point he eventually became the MC of the group, and called the program. But he probably never considered himself a great bass singer. I don't know that, but he probably never considered himself a legendary bass singer. It's proof positive that if you allow God to use you, you can reach somebody.
Oh yeah,
you can reach somebody and you don't even realize it. You know, God. So God used Tracy to reach you.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and like you said there, he might have not considered himself as the greatest bass singer. Those were the kind of bass singers I'd like. Ray, he was a low bass singer, but Ray could sing too.
Yeah.
Tell us about your audition with the Kingsmen, how that come about.
The weirdest audition probably known to man. So I called a local group. I saw a thing on Facebook and went and sung with them during sound check. And he was like, what you doing the rest of the day? And told him nothing. He's like, well, you know some songs. And they were singing, old songs. They didn't have any originals.
Okay.
And they might have had a few, but they didn't sing it at the time. And a lot of Perry songs. I Remember Today was the first song I sung. Yeah. And so it hit and ended up, they were like, well, we'd love to have you. We're a local group. We don't pay. And that was fine. Like, I just want to sing. This is perfect. We traveled a little bit. We'd hit a couple little places. We did the Alabama Quartet show, more regional group. And, we traveled a little bit. We mainly stayed around North Carolina, South Carolina. So it was perfect. About 8-9 months in, I get a text. It was like, dude, it was from Chris Bryant. Dude, came across some of your singing. It's perfect. Love it. It was weird to me. I'm thinking, why is Chris Bryant texting me? Because I love the Kingsmen. So I know what he is. So I'm like, it just don't make sense that he just randomly, like, you're doing good, bro. I was like, but maybe he's just an encourager, which he is. When I come to find out. But I was like, maybe he just does this to everybody. So I kind of pushed it off.
Yeah.
Went in there, sung. It was that afternoon. I was sitting in the parking lot waiting on the bus, actually, at the church. Went there and sung, came back, had some more messages on Facebook. Like, So he was asking me, he was like, hey, do you know any Kingsmen songs? Yeah, this and that. Well, Ray, we showed Ray a video of you singing. He, saw some stuff in you, but he wants to make you better. That's all. Don't get nothing twisted. He just wants to help you. Ray does this to a lot of people. So I was like, okay, getting lessons from the dean.
Yeah.
But then turns out, kind of got to talking to Chris for a while. And then Alan texted me. I was like, hey, I texted me kind of the same thing as Chris. Send me some videos of you singing. Then I'd sing some and Alan be like, all right, well, on this, try to sing it like this. Trying to help show me different ways of singing.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, Alan's, he's kind of giving me voice lessons for free.
Yeah.
And it never really dawned on me until afterwards, like what they were doing. But I just thought, they're helping me. So he said, Ray really wants to meet you. Look on our schedule and see when's a good, convenient date to come hang out. Just hang on the bus. Ray can kind of in person help you and stuff. And I said, okay. He was like, also, bring some, maybe wear some nicer clothes because we might, never know. We like to call you up on, and sing 1 or 2 songs, to kind of encourage you a little bit. We love to do that. So, okay. Bladensburg, North Carolina. Did sound check. A group called the Pathfinders gave me a wireless mic.
Okay.
Because that was kind of going on towards the end of COVID. So Ray was like, I don't want him touching my mic now. So they gave me a wireless mic. SM81, I think is what it is. I still have it in the closet. And so Brandon hooked it up. And, them mics are really sensitive. Well, I've never sung on a mic like that.
Yeah.
So I won, and hit that one note. And there was a clock on the wall. And it fell. Well, when it fell, it hit Brandon in the back. And I guess when he started cleaning up, if I remember right, because I don't think it was back, his hand, it cut his hand. And I thought, oh, here it goes. I'm done. The man who's running the bus, pretty much.
You hurt
I
the
just
ball.
cut his finger. So, anyways, we saw him. Well, come to find out, Ray was like, I don't really, think he should sing tonight.
Yeah.
This and that. This was before I did sound check. Well,
Okay.
after sound check, he looked at Alan. He goes, I think we're gonna call him up and let him sing a couple of songs. So I sat in the bus, talked to him, kind of told him about myself. We talked about, my walk with the Lord. We talked about my salvation, just stuff like that, kind of getting to know you.
Right.
Well, anyways, it came that night, and I was sitting there, and I think I was sitting up there towards the front, but they called me up, and they were like, "There's a young man out here that we think's got a lot of talent. We just, would y'all mind letting him sing one or two?"
Yeah.
So I can't remember what we started out with. I think it was Ever Been Glad.
Okay.
I like to walk the stage. I like to work the stage, move the stage. You can ask Alan. If you wanted me to stand still, you kind of had to tie me there because I like to move. I'd end up over on the tenor side. I'd end up back over here. Sometimes I'd be off the stage. That was just me. And so we did that song. Well, the night was over, and I was on cloud nine.
I guarantee you.
Nothing. And Brandon and them were talking to me. They were like, "Well, what are you doing the rest of the weekend?" It was a Friday night. Yeah. They were like, "We got a and Saturday night we got one in Myrtle Beach with Real Truth Revival, and then we have a date at a church in Clover, South Carolina, Sunday morning, and that's it. And all those are pretty local to the house." So I said, "Nothing." He's like, "Why don't you ride with us this weekend, or follow the bus?"
Okay.
So I was sweet. So followed the bus with him.
Yeah.
Went home that night, got some clothes, and then kind of met around. Well, when we left, did the show in South Carolina, awesome. Blew up, did the same thing. Well, that night, they were like, well, if you don't know, a lot of the promoters give, which y'all know, but for people who don't, a lot of the promoters give the Kingsmen a hotel to kind of shower, get cleaned up, them too, to relax a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they had this hotel room, and then they were like, because now we're in Myrtle Beach, and it's a little bit farther, and it's kind of out of the way for me to go, and then that morning, get back up early to go there. So Brandon's like, you can stay in the hotel. Well, it was me and my friend Baden. They would not let us stay unless Brandon checked us in because we weren't old enough. So here I am walking back to the bus. Brandon, I got a question, a little favor.
Yeah.
He said, what's that? I said, can you check me in this hotel room? So here he comes walking me in. It was funny, the memories and stuff. But
wow. That's pretty
oh yeah.
That's pretty cool audition, man.
That's right. And then that Sunday after the morning service, we were sitting on the bus and Ray mentioned, what would you like to do next weekend? I said, I'll come with you. He's like, well, have you looked at that? I was like, no, don't worry about it. My job at that time, I had comp time and my boss knew I loved singing. So it was a blessing in disguise. He was like, whatever you got to do it.
Wow.
And make sure it's fine. Right. So I worked. I think I left Wednesday night. I think that one was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and went up with them. And we did Alan's concert he does there in Georgia. I think it's the Union County Gospel Sing.
Right.
The one that's got about 10 or 15 words in the title. We always joke about that. But I did that, and then, he had all kinds of art.
Yeah.
Yes, there. So I was just on cloud nine again. I was meeting all these people and singing, and on the way home, it was 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I get I think it was either Brandon texted me or I can't remember. Ray rattled my bunk cage and was like, hey, can you come up here and sit for a minute? We're about home. Anyways, we want to make sure you're awake before you go home. Because I was trying to get home as soon as the bus parked so I can go back to work Monday. And Ray said, have you ever thought about doing this? And I was like, oh, yeah, I would love, this would be a dream. He was like, well, I'm going to give you a little time to think about. He was like, you come on, do like you've been doing, sing a couple songs, maybe in the second half or something. Yeah. And he was like, we'll call it, what do you call it? An intern position, intern bass. He was like, and then you will learn. And it went from there. I've traveled with him for 2 weekends, and he hired me as an intern bass. And over time, it slowly got to where I'd sing a few more songs. And then it flipped to where I was singing the first half. Ray would come. Right. And then it got to where Ray sat on the bus. He said, boys, nah, I'm good. I'm going to sit here and watch Gunsmoke. Drew, you handle it. And it just blew from there. That's how it kind of went. Right. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
That is pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Well, Drew, I've got some stats. Okay.
Some stats.
I have some stats. You joined as interim bass singer in 2022, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And let's see, you were 20 years old when you joined.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And Kingsman, I think when Berger joined, he was 16. I know when Andrew Ishii joined, he was 18 or 19. So, you've got a few guys ahead of you when it comes to age.
Yeah.
20 years old is still awful young, Let's see. You recorded Unstoppable God in 2024. And one of the songs on there, one of the songs that was featured on that featured you was Strength of the Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ronnie Griffin and Alan. I think Alan wrote the chorus and maybe the tag, and Ronnie helped him write the rest of it.
Well, that was a great song. And I wanted to ask you about, you had mentioned Ray Dean, of course. You guys sang The God Who Never Changes.
Oh, yeah.
You sung part of it, and Ray sung part of it. So that was probably pretty surreal to you to get to do that with Ray,
And after we did it, Alan brought it up, and it wasn't that Ray was saying, I'm done. But the way the song was, Ray came that first verse, sung the first chorus.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like he passed the torch. And then I came in and did this. And the song still gives me just chills.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I'm singing on a project. But not only that, I'm sharing a song with a legend, a Southern. Not just a bass singer. This is a legend of the whole industry.
Yes.
When you think of Southern gospel, Ray's name is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, here I am singing a song with Ray.
Yes.
And and too, if for people who've never listened to a song, listen to it. The message
it's a great song.
Boom.
Yeah. Great song.
So,
yes, it is.
That was a really fun one.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, when you stepped in behind Ray and you were singing, it got to, like you said, it got to the point where you were singing more and he was singing less. And I'm sure the pressure, on you was what I love about the Kingsmen, I'm sure they didn't want you to sing. They wanted you to sing Ray's features the way you would sing them.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't come in and they said, okay, you got to sing it the way Ray sang it. You got to phrase things the way Ray phrased all these songs, these iconic songs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that pressure was pretty tough on you. I come in behind Tim Surratt, who sung Wish You Were Here and Rise from the Grave and all these big songs. And so I can't imagine the pressure you had coming in behind Ray.
Yeah.
It's so weird because the Kingsmen never pressured me.
Right.
Not one time did any of them ever say, you got to do it like he did.
Yes.
No, Ray didn't do it that way. You need to do it that. They never questioned. In fact, they kind of pushed me. Okay, I do some stuff the way Ray did it now and say, well, try it this way. They kind of pushed me to do it my own way.
Yeah. Right.
Because as Ray says, you're not, you don't fill shoes. You're creating your own.
You're exactly right.
Ray's like, I don't want nobody to fill my shoes because I have my own shoe.
Yeah.
I want you to fill your own shoe. Make your name.
Right.
Yeah.
And that hit hard because a lot of people, so many people are scared down in history, they're going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
You spend your lifetime doing something you love.
Yeah.
And then so many years go by and then nobody remembers you.
True.
One, Ray don't care about that. And two, Ray knows he don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
So that was Ray's biggest thing was be yourself.
Be yourself.
And I tried, too, because Ray was my boss and I loved Ray. I got to keep his legacy in certain ways. So you would see me up there every now and then. I'd do my little finger thing.
Yeah.
On the big end, I'd go, yeah. I would drop it down like he did. Or if I wanted to kill the guys, I'd hold it up.
Take forever.
The slowest landing. So they got to scream their guts out. So I kept that.
Yeah.
But then you had fans. When you've been around as long as Ray, and I always tell Ray, when you look as good as Ray, there are fans that want Ray. They don't care how good you are. If you little cutesy baby, like some of them old people when they grab your cheeks, you're like, woman, I don't know you. Why are you touching my face?
Yeah.
There were some people, they did not care. There was a lot of people that came up to the table and would say some stuff that I won't repeat.
Yeah.
But was not the kindest, the kindest stuff. They would say, you're not Ray Dean. Well, thank you. I didn't know that, but thank you for telling me that. I always thought I was Ray, But you would get on the bus and, Ray can read you. I don't know if it's from being in the Army and he was a drill sergeant.
Probably. Yeah.
He knows if something is wrong.
Yeah.
You could not walk. He always sat in the front. You could not walk by that bus to go to your back. Like if you're like, I just want to go to my bunk, change, and you could not if something was wrong with you because Ray, it's like he could smell it as soon as you walk.
Yeah.
And there'd be times, what's wrong? Well, this so-and-so said this, or this person, they made it. And Ray said, well, tell them people they don't sign your paycheck.
That's right.
You don't have to prove to them how good you are.
That's right.
And I mean, it's just stuff like that, So, yes, it was very, especially the first, but the pressure wasn't there as much as people think it is because the Kingsmen themselves, especially Ray, they kind of carried the pressure for me.
True.
They took it. It's like Ray took the pressure off my shoulder and said, son, this is about to be the easiest transaction, the easiest move you'll ever see in history. Because they didn't just throw me out there.
Right.
You could have done anything better. Let me sing a couple songs and then pull me off the stage. Now sing a few more songs where people, they gradually knew, but Ray was still there. When I would sing, most of the time, Ray would be right behind me.
Yes.
Standing on stage. So there's a video recording. People weren't asking where Ray was because Ray was right behind me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They could have made it any easier for me when it came to that.
They did it the right way. And I had that conversation with Ray years ago when I left the second time. He gave his approval to you, so all the fans knew Ray Dean Reese. He recommended this boy. He's helping this young man. He's mentoring him, and so he put his seal of approval on you. And so that's why people embraced you like they did, because they knew that Ray had handpicked you. And that meant a lot. A lot of transitions aren't that easy because somebody just either retires off the road or comes off the road, and the new person is thrust in there.
You would think that they've done it before, how smoothly they did it, knowing that I was the first person that ever, Ray would have people saying every now, but like the first person that ever was a bass singer for the Kingsmen, other than Ray.
Right.
But I mean, they just made it smooth. It was insane.
Did you have a favorite song that you got to sing when you was there with the Kingsmen? What was one of your favorite songs?
Saints Will Rise.
Saints Will Rise.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know, especially, we didn't do it as much towards the end, because the track was kind of old, and I think they went to the studio after I left and redid the track.
Right.
When we were at Branson,
Silver Dollar City.
Yeah. And we did it with Bob, Chris Jenkins, Ray, and then Alan, and then Rick was on the piano.
Okay.
And we did it like 2 or 3 times, and that last time, if I wanted to jump off the stage, it'd be like hitting a wall, and I'd bounce back. The sound was so, and I don't know, that high energy right there on that song.
Yeah.
And people, they know what to expect, and they want more. Like I was saying earlier, you could do it 100 times, and they did not care. They want more. And that was a fun song. Later on with Colin Thomas, Rise Up.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved the little standout, even though it wasn't a few songs, but then it was a typical Kingsman song.
Yeah. Right.
Saul, and then the ending, just punch him in the gut, And I Look For Me at Jesus' Feet, same way.
Yeah.
Loved that song. My last day, I asked him, I was like, I know we probably can't do both, because if we did, we'd have to have CPR up here.
Yeah.
But can we at least do Rise Up or Look For Me?
Yeah.
I was like, can we at least do one of those before I leave? So my last date, we did Look For Me. And I don't know, the song, typical Kingsman song, which a hard message. And my whole family was out there, my grandpa, and my grandma, she's passed away. My mama, she passed away with a stroke. So that song always, because it was like the two people that wanted would want this so much from me never got to see me sing.
Yeah.
But here I am because of these two people, their influence on me.
Right.
Which introduced me to this. Here I am. So it's like, Mama, look for me.
Yeah.
You know, and then bam, then typical Kingsman soft song, and then the end, bam, hit them again, you know? And I don't know, those songs just, but it's hard to pick. Meet Me at the Table.
Yeah.
It's nothing like when people hear that track kick off, you know, ladies and gentlemen, the Kingsmen, because a lot of times we'd start with that song, and that track, all people knew.
Oh, they knew it instantly, yeah.
They were already singing the song before it even started.
That's
so,
right.
I don't know, stuff like that. I love the classics.
Right, yeah.
Well, you mentioned some legendary songs there. What about a least favorite song that you sang with the Kingsmen?
Did you have a least one?
When Alan listens to this, he already knows what I'm about to say before I even say it. When I wake up, God, I don't want to hear. I ain't listened to that song since I came off the road.
I got to ask. That's one of them legendary songs. And that was, a quartet song.
Okay.
But what in the world? You got to tell a little bit.
So, anybody who knows, especially a bass singer,
yeah,
the biggest thing we do is doubting ourselves.
Yeah.
And talk to any bass singer. Before they say, I'm just not feeling it tonight. And then they'll come out and have their best concert. But you doubt yourself. That was one song. When we first started singing it, I loved it. One night I messed up. I just was off the note about that much. Or it could have been that much. I don't know. I can't remember. But I was off the note. And ever since that night, there was maybe a few nights we did, I could hit that note again. And it was a C. I would hit that note, several times throughout the night. Because most of the songs, if I didn't take the upper octave, most of our songs a lot of them were in that range.
Right.
And I could hit that note the song before, and then we'd sing that, and I wouldn't be able to. And then we'd sing another song after that, and it'd be that same note, and I'd hit it.
And it plays in your mind.
It got in my head.
Yes.
So most of the time you'd hear me, I would either, more, and then I'd jump back up. Yeah, because it just, I'd get on it, and then I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that song, because of that reason, it just, I don't know, it got in my head one time. If I still was to try to do it, I'd miss it.
And if you have it playing with your mind, man, it can be a note you've sung 20 times already that night.
Yes.
But and if you're going to do the song, as the program progresses, you're thinking about that one note.
Yeah.
5 songs from now, I'm going to have to hit that note.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man. It'll. That's why JD. We talk about bass singer JD. This is kind of off topic, but JD said you got to conquer that man on your shoulder that tells you that you can't hit that note, because that little man on your shoulder will say you can't hit that. You can't hit that.
Yep.
And
it worked every
whether
time.
you're a tenor or lead or whatever, or even a bass guitar player, you can't play that note. You're going to have trouble getting to that note.
Yeah.
And of course, that is this kind of song you can't do it at the beginning of your set. So that song was always towards the end. So I was always in, because Alan didn't really tell.
Yeah, he didn't tell you. Yeah.
The program. You might know a couple of songs. But so I'm sitting there through the whole night like, oh Lord, Alan, please let's end with a different.
Yeah, you're hoping they don't call.
And sometimes we would do it. And then when I hear that little piano, and it was like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Well, a couple of guys, you mentioned that about him not picking that song. A couple of guys talked about Jim Hamill. If you didn't like a song or per se had trouble with a song, don't tell Jim, because he's going to call it every time.
He'll call it. Yeah, he'll call it on purpose.
Yeah, he can help you get over that, I guess.
Oh, yeah. He'd help you get over it for sure.
After a while, you're going to say, Jim, I love this song.
I love that song.
That's right.
Maybe I should have done that.
Oh, goodness. Well, Drew, we got several Facebook questions different people ask, and
You're pretty popular on Facebook, man. I mean, we've had several questions. People submit questions for you
in the Facebook land.
Yeah. Let's do this one here. This is going to be a 2-parter from John Barker. He says, if you could put together a legendary quartet, who would be in it? That's part 1. So I'll let you answer that if you have any.
Is this going to be living, or can I pick some people that's going on?
Let's do both. Living or past. Yeah.
Definitely Jim. I'm gonna have Jim in there.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to say. I've always wanted to sing with Chris Allman.
Okay.
I don't know. He's a smooth tenor.
Oh yeah.
So, I'd put him in there. Eldridge.
Yeah, that'd be good.
He had a big voice.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd love to sit and talk to him because they said when it came, business,
Yeah.
he knew it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd even put Lauren Harris in there.
Okay, that'd be good.
I'd put him even at bare, like just bam. And then bass. If I didn't have to be me, probably Tracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think because I just love to hear Tracy again.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That'd be a good quartet for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely, you ask that question, and I'm sure once this ends, I'll think of several other people. But like, you get put on the spot, and my brain just went, "Ugh." But those would probably be the few I could throw together and just see what happens. Let them run with it.
There you go. And then the next question he asked, if you were to pick one biblical figure that you relate to the most, who would it be and why?
That's hard.
Yeah.
Well, we could go several ways. Like if I want the biblical character I would want to be more like, of course, is Jesus.
Yes.
But obviously, I've done sin, so throw that away. When it came to singing, the one I compared to the most, after talking about when I wake up, how about doubting Thomas? Because I always doubted myself.
There you go. All right.
So how about that?
How about that? That's pretty good right there. That's good. Kaylee Redmond asked, who's your favorite Kingsman lineup to listen to when you was younger, if you have one?
Keep following the Kingsman Behind the Crown podcast for more great interviews like this one.
Probably Chris Collins, Ryan, and Jonathan and Ray.
Yeah.
I love when Jerry came along, the Jerry era, and Tim, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that era was, because that's kind of like I discovered y'all, when, of course, the video I saw, the first Kingsman video had Jerry singing tenor. And then, I don't know, Chris Collins, I've always loved his voice. I don't know if you would necessarily say he was a typical Kingsman tenor.
Yeah.
But he did it.
He did. And he did it well. He did it well.
There was just something about Chris Collins. Exactly. But I don't know, because I love Georgia Live. That's probably my favorite Kingsman album. And a lot of people are like, that's probably like my least favorite. But I don't know. You walked out and said, "Give the world a smile." I mean, and it just hit. And then there were so many other songs.
Oh, yeah.
Moses,
Great song.
First Step. I wish we came out and did First Step. Obviously, we don't have a track, but I was like, that'd be a great opening song. But that was probably my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of those, but of course, all of them. I loved Philip Hughes. My second weekend with them, Ray called me and was like, "Hey, can you pick up Philip Hughes? His wife will meet you about that halfway part. Could he write?" And me and Philip we hit, and we were buddies. I mean, even when I came off the road, he called me, and when I was on the road, he would call like weekly. I would hear from him. So, God, I love Philip. That hit hard when Ray called me that night. I would never forget. I was working on my old truck, fixing it up, and Ray called me and said, "Cousin, I got to tell you something." And that was a hard one to take.
Yeah. Philip was an encourager, and you're not, brother. Listen, you're one of the many guys we've talked to that the first thing they say about Phil is he was an encourager.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I cherish the time I traveled with Phil, and not only is he a great singer and a great encourager, man.
Funny, my goodness, funny.
And they don't come they didn't come any better than Philip Hughes. Let me tell you,
man, he would have you to where you just wanted to knock him out because you're like, "I'm starting to hurt. I'm laughing so hard. Stop! Just give me like 5 minutes, and then you can start." Like it was just fun,
hilarious.
Oh goodness, that's right. Andrew Bowen asked, "What was it like playing Jim on the TV show The Office?" He said, "You really look like him," and he said, "Have you ever heard that before? And how did you deal with that?"
Yes, I've heard that before, and the only reason I know who he is because someone posted a picture.
Okay,
I think it was my first NQC with him, and I'm kind of like, and my hair kind of curled up, and someone posted that, and I never watched The Office, so I didn't know who it was, and I was kind of like, you know what, he might be my brother. Hey, I love my daddy, but if he's my dad, he might need to owe some money. He got about 18 years he's tracking down on. So I don't know. I could make it.
Yeah, I mean, come
on. Oh man,
this is Behind the Crown. You never know.
There you go. Right. Oh, Steve Dover asked. He said he knows you and your family, sang at y'all's church a few times.
Clear vision.
He would like to know what was the best piece of singing advice Ray Dean taught you.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Great.
Just because when I joined, I didn't know what to expect. One, I didn't have time to gather my thoughts because when I auditioned, I didn't know I was auditioning.
Yeah.
So when he hired me, I was not expecting the second weekend out with these guys. Never met them before. You know, I've only known them for literally, this is my second weekend.
Yeah.
And, so I didn't have time. And that just so I didn't know, you know, driving back from Asheville was about a 2.5-hour drive. I think I have one of the shortest drives other than them. And, but that was always in my mind, you know, especially the first weekend. Did I kind of do that like Ray or
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't have done that because that might have been showboating on my end. And, but when Ray told me that, son, be Drew Laney, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
That's great.
That's right. Couple of more here.
Or if you sing beside another bass singer who's better than you, take a bite out of an onion before you have to share the mic with them.
Come on now. Come on.
I'm about to say, Brian,
they won't
Brian
hit me
told about that.
They'll be standing like this from the back, like, I'll let you sing this song by yourself. Buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, you too nice.
That was Brian Hudson trick back in the day with King's Gold.
Well, to be honest with you, Josh, I learned that from Ray Dean Reese.
Ray said he did that to Tim.
Yeah, Ray told me one night about him doing it to Tim Riley.
Yeah.
And so about 99 or 2000, early 2000, I did that to Jonathan Wilbur. So during King's Gold in Chattanooga. I'll tell that story again sometime. So
Yeah.
I can't ever say I did it. I didn't ever try it, but I wish I did.
Sam Quick asked, do you miss being out on the road singing? And if so, and if opportunity comes up, would you go back out with if a group was to call you to ask you?
Okay. Yes, I miss singing. That was the desire of my heart. And I still think it is.
All right, go ahead.
I growing up, you know, I dreamed of singing, and I'm so grateful, which I never thought I should have. I didn't deserve it. To me, I was no greater than your average Billy Bob, you know, singing on his praise team. But the Lord, He answered my prayers,
Right.
and He let me sing, and those were some of the best years of my life. Short-lived.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll scratch my head and say maybe too short, but I believe when it was my time to go, and the reasons I had, you know, some opportunities around home, and I prayed about that. Those were the hardest prayers because you're praying that the Lord will open another door away from your dreams that you prayed about.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of one of them things that's like, am I, you know, why am I doing this? I'm going from ear to ear. The Lord's probably like, oh my gosh, make up your mind, boy. But, and, you know, I believe that it was my time to go just as much as it was my time to jump on the bus.
Right.
I miss the singing every day. We had a couple groups come to my home church, and I would sing one song with them. I've seen the Kingsmen a couple of times since I've been off the road and sung a couple songs, but other than maybe 4 or 5 songs, you know, within the period I've been off the road, I've not sung a note. I don't sing at church in the choir. I'm not on a praise team. I'm not in no local group. So I kind of quit cold turkey, and it wasn't because of anything. I didn't quit because I was angry or this. I just, when you do it on a professional level, it was just one of them things is like, when I walked away from that, to me, that was just, I was hanging my coat up. I'm done.
Okay.
So I miss the singing, the traveling not as much. When I left, I was me and my wife wasn't even engaged yet. I was actually getting engaged with her. I left on the Christmas tour, and I believe it was that April. Sorry, babe, if I'm wrong. I promise I didn't forget. But so we did that, and I just knew, you know, you always hear, and it could have been, you know, some people will scare you, you know, because you always got them, you know, Mr. Humbugs, and they were like, well, just know this, son, you know, when you're out here as they're traveling, but when you're out here on the road, when your wife at night the water heater goes out. She's gonna have to call some other man or some other person to your house. Like, and that kind of got to me too. You know, I was like, well, I'm about to get married. When I do have a family, I don't want to leave them.
Yeah.
But I don't regret my decision. I believe that it was my time to go. The Lord has blessed me since I've been home. I can't complain. So that's just another way of showing me that, you know, I did do the right thing, even though it was hard. But would I ever sing again? I won't say never, because every time I've said never, it has slapped me in the face. So I will not say never.
Yeah.
Is it in my plan? As far as I can see, I don't see myself ever stepping out
back on the
and
bus
singing again.
Yeah.
I might not go as far as locally. If the right local group, you know, it'd probably take a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I've gotten used to being at home.
Yeah.
If the right group and I prayed about it, I would maybe consider it. Ray called me Christmas and wished me a happy or Merry Christmas, me and my wife. And he asked me, "You've been singing? You got any local group singing?" And I said no, and it hit hard because I could hear the disappointment in his voice. And he said, "Son, the talent you're wasting," and it's out of love.
Yeah.
Ray was like my dad.
Yeah.
Ray was like my grandpa. You know.
Yeah.
He was so full of advice. You know, when you go to Grandpa's house, you want to, Grandpa, tell me about the past. Tell me about the past. Well, that was me and Ray.
Yeah.
And Ray, when he gave me advice, there was no cut and corner. He didn't leave you where you go back thinking like, I wonder if he was meaning this. You didn't have to wonder.
Oh yeah.
He told you. He told you straight how it was. And that's maybe full time. I don't see it in my future, you know, but part-time, yes. But that was the hardest part leaving the Kingsmen. It wasn't, stepping away was hard enough.
Yeah.
But when you disappoint your hero, that's like taking a dagger to the chest.
Well, I think, not speaking for Ray, but I'm sure it disappointed him. But Ray's also been around gospel music and the Kingsmen long enough to know that if you're not happy, if you're not happy on the bus, then it's time for you to go. Because, you know, and he told me that very thing. Once you quit here in your heart, once you quit there, you might as well get off the bus.
Because that can impact somebody sitting out there.
It's going to impact
watching.
all the rest of the guys in the group. It's going to affect your performance.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've already quit here, you're miserable. And so the best thing to do is if even though you've got the talent and the gift, if you're not called to that anymore, then the best thing for you to do is just say, you know what, it's time for me to step off. It is.
That was the hardest phone call.
Yeah.
I should have called. I told him maybe it was the end of October.
Okay.
And told him I could sing, you know, Christmas, maybe into the New Year song. And he was like, well, we'll just, you know, after we talked for an hour trying to change my mind, he was like, well, let's just do the Christmas tour. And then if you're still doing it, then we'll call it then.
Right.
And I probably should have called. I was planning on making that call about a month before, but every time I'd pick up the phone to call them, I just like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's not that I was miserable or I hated it. I loved it.
Right.
The guys I traveled with, Thomas, Cole, Thomas is hilarious.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody I traveled with was good. And that's what made it that much harder. When you have a reason to leave, it's a little bit easier. But when you're just leaving because you just feel like it's time to leave, but there ain't no real reason, nobody made me upset, nobody
right.
you know, did anything wrong by me, that made it that much harder to leave.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, that's right.
I will say that.
Yeah. One last thing on Facebook, Drew. Speak a little bit briefly about the Big and Live reunion that you got to take part of. Yeah.
That was probably my phone album. Half of my storage is from that. My wife, her family, her dad is from Alabama. Her grandparents still live in Alabama. They live probably 40 minutes from that venue. So my wife, we weren't married at the time, of course. Her and my sister, my brother-in-law, my best friend came up to the Big and Live.
Okay.
And got to listen to me. They stayed at my at her grandparents' house. Yeah. And so she recorded everything. So I still to this day will look back and listen to it. But the Big and Live was iconic. not only because of the name, Big and Live, everybody knew it, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Though the people who were there were true Kingsmen fans. They weren't just, oh, this is where I go to church and we're having a singing, so I'm here. I've never heard. They were true Kingsmen fan. And then you bring in the Big and Live band. And then you even bring in as much as they could, obviously, from that era.
Yes.
That night when Ray and them, and I was just sitting back. There's a video somebody took in the crowd, and they sent it to me on Messenger, and I still have it on my phone, of them singing. And I was standing off in the corner, just smiling ear to ear with my phone camera.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. And I'll never forget, Ray messed up. Ray Lee, the song first starting out. Ray is just like me. When he gets in his head, I can't do it. He's like, I've sung this song 1,000 times, and I can't. There's one line in that song on my verse, it just gets in my head, and I can't remember the words.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll sing it right here. He was singing it to me. He's like, but I promise, as soon as I get on that stage, I will not be able to do it. He gets on stage, and he gets that part. He goes, sings this song, and then goes, and I was like, this is my opportunity. Ray, which the crowd is Ray anyway, so nobody was like, everybody thought like, to them, he did that on purpose.
Oh
like,
yeah.
This is my opportunity. This is my opportunity. I ran on the front of that stage, and I was like, and the people went crazy, and it just worked. And but the Big and Live, man, that was fun. The live band. Before that, we've sung with some live bands, but we never had the steel guitar. Like that big of a band. You had Randy Miller with us. He was so, it was just an electric night. When you were on that, you could have not paid me to get off that stage. If I could have been like the crowd usually is and just keep singing. If we could have still been singing to this day from that, I know the other guys would want to kill me, but I'd still be doing it.
Keep turning around, turn around.
That was one of the nights you just never wanted to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we pulled out of that venue, I was like sick on my stomach, like, that it was just one of the nights. It was magical. I mean, I don't really know any other way to describe it. That was the best night of my career. MQC was fun. The Ark was fun. A lot of the Bill Bailey concerts, they were so much fun.
Yeah.
But if you were to say you could only get one moment back, take you to the Big and Live.
Wow.
That's right.
That's cool.
Thank you, Evan Bradford, for that question. And thank you, everybody else. I forgot to mention his name. I apologize, Evan. But thank you, everybody else, for submitting those questions on Facebook. Appreciate y'all doing that for us.
Those are some hard hitters.
Yeah.
Pretty good ones. A little serious ones, too. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What's your favorite thing about life on the road when you just travel with the Kingsmen?
Sightseeing. Even though you're seeing out of the bus, man. I'm from Monroe, North Carolina. We ain't got nothing. We had a bowling alley, and which as growing up, we went to the beach in the summer, and then not every year, but sometimes we'd go to mountains and ski or something, on our fall break. So as far as like that little circle, I didn't really get out much.
Yeah.
So when you're like, when I first saw the Amish, I was like, these people are still around. I was shocked.
Oh.
And then when you go up north,
we'll probably get a text from Alan about that when he hears this. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. And then you go to up north, and all these people are looking at you like, can you say that again? And I'm like, me say it again? You might hear how you talk. Like I'm the funny one. It was fun. That was fun. The traveling and seeing it. I tell people I wish we could have made as much money as these country artists, not to put in our pockets, but if they could have had a plane where we could fly and still be at home with our families.
Yeah.
But that's the hardest thing. Like when we went to Oklahoma, that was a 21-hour drive.
Yeah.
And, there'd be some weeks you get home Monday, you might not get home. You might get off the bus Monday morning at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You might not get home until after lunchtime Monday. And then you get home Tuesday, really is your only day at home. Well, then Wednesday night, you're packing up to get back on the bus at midnight.
Yeah.
That was the hard part. I could care less about the money. But like if somebody could have donated a private jet to where we could still get our family time, I'd loved it. Because I loved the traveling part. It was just the amount of being away from home. I'm a mama's boy.
That's That was my next question, the least favorite thing. And I think most every Kingsman, current guys, and even all the alumni, we've all said pretty much the same answer. And Josh, you can attest to this.
Yep.
Is this the amount of being gone? And that's just part of it.
Oh yeah.
And that's just, that's part of the that's part of the job. If you're with the Kingsmen or whatever group you're with, you're going to be gone, and that's the hardest
Oh,
part
yeah.
about it. Love the singing part, love the camaraderie, love the actual 2 hours you're on stage making harmony with 3 other guys in a band, or whatever. But it's the amount of being gone. That's the hardest part. And so
Oh yeah.
a lot of people don't understand that. And back in my day, and this ain't my interview, but back in my day,
Y'all sung a lot more than us too.
we would go to California. We'd be gone for 3 weeks, for 28, 29 days. So you might as well just take the entire month of February, and you're gone the entire month.
Yeah.
And when you get, and it's you're on different time zones. Your family's on this time zone. And by the time you get to California, you're 3 hours ahead or behind them, 3 hours behind it. And it's, your body clock trying to, okay, I got to call my wife now because we're getting ready to go on stage and she's going to bed.
Bed. Or you forget and you call her when you get off the stage, and then it goes to voicemail and you realize she's asleep, and you're like,
sorry about that, honey. I'm sorry. It's
I missed
your
it.
time.
Yeah.
So,
like if I could have had a motorhome or something and afford to keep my whole family where they didn't have to work anymore, they could just follow behind the bus. That didn't even nice. But it's like you said, just leaving your family for that long, especially like for me, I'm a family guy because growing up, like me and my wife, when we were dating, we were always out doing stuff. And when you go, it's different when you kind of were doing that. But then when you go from, mostly out all my time, then you were singing, mainly on weekends, but local. So you were still back and forth home to get on a bus and then you're gone. That was kind of like a gut punch. It was like, I didn't put this into calculation. Because you don't, looking from the outside, you don't see that.
Right.
A lot of these fans, they don't realize that.
They
just like, that's the easiest job. You sing all day long. You sing for a couple hours.
They see you on the stage for 2 hours, or they see you on stage at the Memphis Quartet show, or the Quartet convention, or they see the big concerts. And I hate to say it this way, but we're being real. You're kind of considered a celebrity. You got the easiest, like you said, you got the easiest job. You get to sleep till 11 o'clock every day, and you get up and eat, and go to the building, and you set up and you sing and you do the same thing again. They don't see the hours and the days of being gone, of missing birthdays and anniversaries and weddings and funerals. They don't see that. And I'm not saying we're martyrs or anything like that.
No.
I'm just saying that's just part of it. And so that's what makes why so many people come off the road after a certain time, because it's a very difficult life to just be gone away from your family, So,
and that was like, we planned a trip to the mountains for my sister. She was getting engaged. My brother-in-law texted me and was like, hey, we're going to go to the mountains for a weekend. I want to propose to your sister. He was like, don't say. So I was, yes, I'm going. Well, then I joined the Kingsmen. I was with the Kingsmen for a couple months, and I didn't think nothing about it, because I planned this before I even joined. Well, when it came time to it, I couldn't do it. So, stuff like that you met, and that hit hard because me and my sister's pretty close, and, I was supposed to be there and I wasn't able to be there. And then it's just stuff like that, families and funerals. I'd get a text from mom and so died. And then I had great aunt, she passed away, and her daughters texted me and was like, hey, we're having my mom's funeral on Sunday. Will you please sing? She would watch you all the time. And it's like, no, I can't be there.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Yeah, it does. It does. But like I said, and like you've touched on, a lot of fans don't see that part of it, for sure. Well, speaking of fans, Kingsmen fans are very loyal. Was you ever told really something really off the wall or funny that you can remember a fan said to you?
Yes.
Okay.
There was one fan, she said, babe, she was an old woman, she's probably 70, she might have been close to 80, but I'm not one to call somebody's age out. But she, at one of those, she's, when she got the hug, oh, I just love you. I just love you. And then she looks at you and she goes, it just take you home. And then ended it like that and goes, and then walks off. And I'm thinking, just stuff like that. It was funny. And then, some people tell jokes, and then you had some that they like the dry humor, and then they'd walk away. And
yeah.
I'd have to, because I'm not, I can handle the humor, but the dry part, that's where Alan got me all the time, is because Alan has got a very dry humor. And sometimes I was like, I don't know if he was joking or if he was making fun of me. And so there'd be sometimes
people out there like that they say something and you're thinking, are they serious? I mean, and so you're having, I don't really know if they're serious or if they're kidding. Yeah, some people have that sense of humor,
Oh yeah, someday I was wearing boots, and my gosh, these can't be your feet. You look like a circus clown standing up there with him. And I'm like, what can I say?
Talk a little bit about your salvation experience. Brian just recently introduced this question to us, and it's a great question. If you don't mind, let's talk.
So, and you can't say it's, some people say, well, you don't remember the day, the time, and all this. It was fake. But I can't tell you the day. It was a Sunday night. I would say anywhere from 8 to 9, somewhere. I was real young, and my great grandma, we were at church and they were preaching, and anyways, I was going to go home and spend the night with her.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, I had to have been young unless it was summer, because I didn't have school or something.
Okay.
And we got in the back of her old car. She had a Buick. I got in the back seat, and my grandma, she was like, is there something bothering you? I said, well, I don't know, Mama. I have a feeling, this feeling in me. And she was like, well, explain that feeling to me. So I explained it. And she said, well, wait 1 minute. And pulled up to the front steps of the church. She walked back into church. She couldn't get the preacher because he was tied up doing something.
Yeah.
So the preacher's wife came in there and sat in the back seat. I didn't get out of the car. She just opened the back seat door and sat right beside me and said, well, Grandma's telling me something about you. So we got to talking, and went from there. And that the memory, and I kick myself to this day because my grandma passed away. She gave me her car. That was one thing she said, I want Drew to have this car.
Yeah.
And like an idiot, I think I was 15 years old. I sold it for a little money so I can buy this truck I wanted. And to this day, if I could find that car, I would pay anything to get that car back, just because of the memory. When you're young, you don't think of stuff like that. Until
that's true.
You get a little older and you're like, what was I thinking? It was just an old Buick and nothing special, but the memory inside.
Yes.
So that's my little story right there.
That's awesome. That's awesome, brother.
One. Was there a special moment in any particular concert or service that y'all was at church with the Kingsmen that God Spirit just moved in and just kind of took over the service that you can talk about?
Oh yeah, I mean there was several of them. I'll give credit where it's due, and that was one thing. Alan really could read that stage. We could sing a slow song, and Alan would maybe have a song with a little bit more get up to it.
Yeah.
And he could sense something, and he would, if you ever pay attention, and sorry, Alan, if I'm giving away your little secret, he has an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some people think he'll turn around and he'll text Brandon because he runs track. He's like, skip that. He'll tell Brandon like, nope, we're going to do. And he would, because he could just read the crowd. And there'd be several times, we'd sing a song and then he would just lead out with something. And there was a time when there was an older man that came down to the altar, and 7 years old. And, he walked down, you could just tell he lived a hard life. He probably worked out in the yard a lot. You could just tell he's been weathered. Like, he was just lived a rough life. And, man, he hit that altar and you could hear him weeping.
Wow.
And when he came up, it's like his whole demeanor, the way he walked back to the aisle, and it, stuff like that hits you. It's like you don't realize.
Yeah.
When you think of salvation, you see older people in the church, you think, okay, well, we're not singing to these people. We're singing to the middle age and the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
These people, they're here. It's not always like that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that, but it's like it just crosses your mind.
Yeah.
And that's why I always, tell people when you're back there at the table, don't assume.
Right.
If you can get a feel, this person's kind of making some questions and it just don't sound right, but golly, they're 50 years old. They say they listen to the Kingsmen all their life. They go to all these concerts. They've got to be a Christian. Don't assume.
Yep. Don't. Yeah.
So, stuff like that, I love seeing the kids come to cry. But when you just saw that older person that was carrying a burden and they just lay it right there at the altar, it was like, this is what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
It goes to show you the power of the gospel.
Yes.
The power of the gospel can reach the youngest person and the oldest person. And I think a lot of times the older folks, we assume they're Christians. And a lot of times they think, you know what? I've went all these years and not accepted the Lord.
Yeah.
And I've had people tell me, well, I'm this age, Brian, and God won't forgive me for all the bad stuff I've done.
I did. Oh yeah.
But it just goes to show you the power of the gospel can reach.
Yep.
And when we are willing to give of ourselves, whether it be sing a song or preach a sermon or teach Sunday school or just be kind to somebody at the grocery store, you never know who you can reach. You know, Tracy's stuff will reach you through a video. His singing reached you through a video. So it just goes to show you God can use us if we're willing to be used. And we just say, God, here's my gift. I want you to use it however you choose to use it. Yeah, and if it's used for this older person over here or this younger person here, let him bring the increase, and you just lay it out there and let him use you. So that's an awesome story, brother. That's an awesome story.
I don't know if y'all have this as a question, so if I answer this again, especially if it's yours, Brian, I apologize. But that's if don't take my advice. I wasn't in the industry long enough. You know, I'm not. To me, I'm a nobody, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But if I could give any advice to anybody wanting to sing or anybody already in the ministry, this is not you. It's not about you. Yeah. I had to catch myself several times because you get on this little wave when the crowd goes crazy because you did something, and and, you know, the guys on the group look at you and it's like, you're the baby. Everybody, you get on a little kick.
Oh yeah.
But I saw Kennedy. She posted something with the Mile and Hayes man, and I don't want to quote it because I don't want to mess it up. But it was pretty much if the light, the spotlight on you is bigger than the spotlight in your heart.
Yeah.
Hit the road.
Yeah.
And that's true. Yeah. We're up there for one reason.
Yeah.
It's not about us. It is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those people that, you know, they say, you know, it's got, you know, this. Like, no, there is time where just put the quartet fashion to the test and let it run.
Yeah.
There is times to be funny. There's times to
that's right.
Not showboat, but, you know, have fun.
Yeah. Right.
George did it all, you know, he'd get his little sway going, Ray, Jim Hamill getting a little.
They all did. They all,
There is times for it. But at the end of the day, if you walk off that stage and you go, boys, I did it.
Yeah.
You didn't really do nothing.
Yeah.
No.
And
so
we got to be careful.
My biggest advice.
Yeah. We got to be careful. We're humans, you know. So you can't really knock somebody for doing that, but just say, hey, be careful not to, you know, like you say.
Hey, listen, big and live. What did I do? I ripped my jacket off. You know, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the Spirit told me to rip my jacket off. You know,
hey, we're Christians. We ought to be the happiest people. We can have fun.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying.
And there's nothing wrong. The mere definition for the word entertainment.
Yeah.
People say, oh man, entertainment's awful. The definition for entertainment is clearly is keeping someone's attention for like a 20-minute span.
Yes.
Yep.
You sit down and watch the ball game to be entertained. You go to the mall. You know what malls are a lot, you know, around now these days. A lot of times people go to the mall to be entertained, to get a cup of coffee and sit and watch people.
Yeah.
You do something, and so there's nothing wrong with entertainment. But like you said, you got to have a balance.
Yeah.
You got to have the Kingsmen they're going to entertain you, and you need to keep the people's attention. So you need to entertain them, but you also have to have a balance of, okay, we're going to also do our best to minister to you using that entertainment to reach people. You know,
exactly. I can say it now because I'm not having to hold to a standard of a crowd. I'm off the road. I don't sing. So if I offend somebody or step on their toes, oh well. Shoot me a text on Messenger and you can watch me. Just swipe and delete it. But ministry, top priority.
Yes.
100% pound. I'm all for it. pound it in there. You got to carve it in a rock.
Yeah.
Ministry is number one.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who say there should be no entertainment once you step on that platform. This is strictly ministry. That's why I say you're wrong.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Ministry, yes.
Yeah.
But who says you cannot have fun serving the
Amen.
Lord?
Yeah.
If you can show me that in the Bible where it says you have to be serious all the time, there can be no fun in this,
Yeah.
then I'll listen to you. But until you show me that,
Yeah.
I disagree 100%.
Yeah.
You have to entertain, because if you don't entertain them, you will lose them.
Right.
Yeah.
Get their attention.
Yep.
The Lord's going to do the work.
He is.
Let him do his job.
I mean, we're not the one giving out salvation.
Right.
It's not like we're up there, up there. Hey, when you listen to us sing, we're offering you a ticket to salvation while we sing. That's not what we're doing.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We're just up there singing the gospel,
Yes.
hoping that we're doing it in the right way where the Lord will show up and then he does his job.
That's right. He does the work. We give him our gifts and our talents and our time, and let him work what he needs to work and where he needs to touch people.
Yep.
Let him do that. Let him. And oftentimes we want to do his job for him. We need. We need to get out
And
of
that's
this
when it
way
goes.
and let him do the work. Let him do the work.
Yep.
Because he'll do it a whole lot better than me and you are going to do it.
Oh, yeah. And usually a lot quicker too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I believe
And
we
it's
solved that
cheaper. It's
problem.
free.
Yeah. I believe we solved that problem, Jim. So anybody's got any questions, we got it solved for you.
That's right. That's right. When you joined, you talked about Ray mentoring you, not just in your singing, but Ray's a great mentor anyway.
Oh, yeah.
He has so much wisdom when it comes to just life. Because, you think about Ray being with the Kingsmen, going on 60 years. Yeah. There's not a whole lot he has not seen. Yeah. With guys coming in, super talented guys that traveled and dealing with people outside the group, with churches and promoters, and there's not a whole lot that he's not seen. So was Ray, and you mentioned Ray was like your grandpa. So
oh yeah, Papa Ray.
Do you have a funny Ray Reese story?
Always.
Okay, well, give us.
I just love talking like him. A lot of people say, "Well, that's just mean you're making fun." But he could. I just need you to come up here and sit down with me. Let's just talk a little bit. You kind of got to put it in a low register and kind of get a little baby talk to it. And you got to put the cousin in. If you don't say cousin, you are not.
Oh yeah,
impersonating
you
Ray.
got it.
Yeah.
Walking up there and you say, he was like a kid. You always hear if you leave snacks in front of a kid, they're going to eat it. It don't matter if your name was on it.
He gonna eat it.
It was on that bus. Ray was going to eat. And the funny thing is, if he liked it enough, he'd say, "Cousin, here's a little bit of money. I'll pay you back from that. And here's a little bit more money next weekend. Can you bring some for me too?" And then, I'm sure his doctor probably hated him because if you knew anything about me, I was a big sweet guy. Anything sweet, sugar, cookies, it was not a health. I love fruit and stuff, but when I was on the road, I was eating junk food. So I'm sure his doctor's probably like, "You're the one," But yeah, like Oreos, we had these vanilla Oreos.
Yeah.
The dude could eat the whole box. It just said, "Cousin, these are so good." And then he said, "There you go, cousin, my stomach hurting a little bit." Well, you only ate about 30 cookies.
Yeah. I wonder why your stomach hurts so bad.
I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I could say it because it was live streamed, so people know it. We were singing in Tennessee.
Okay.
And the Troy Burns family, actually, they were around town. They just pulled their bus up in the parking lot and came and saw. Well, Ray was in a rush to get to the stage.
Yeah.
Well, we were calling him up, and he tripped on a stair.
Oh,
fell.
Yeah.
Most people would, lay there, embarrassed. Ray rolls to his side, pops his leg up, and sits on his hand like this, like he's modeling. I mean, who else, especially 80-some-year-old man, would think of do something like that?
God. That's hilarious.
Just slick, But he did that and got him up. Yeah. Said, "I'm probably going to be sore, but right now I'm feeling pretty good." Just stuff like that.
That's great. Yeah, I remember I was telling somebody the other day, when I first got on the Kingsman bus, Ray was kind of on he wanted to drop a few pounds. Okay. So you talked about he loved sweets. So he would drink a Slim Fast with his hamburger and French fries from Burger King or McDonald's. And I said, cousin, I think you're supposed to be drinking that instead of the hamburger and French fries.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? I said, yeah. It was like to me, it was chocolate milk. You know,
Yeah.
to him, I said, Ray, I think you're supposed to be eating that instead of the hamburger and French, not with the hamburger and French fries.
Yeah.
You know?
Or, you'd go out to eat, and Ray, you want something? No, cousin, I got some leftovers from lunch. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then, it never failed, you were checking out, right? Cousin, can you get me a hamburger steak? Right, we're at Waffle House.
Yeah.
Well, just
Hamburger
get me
steak.
like just get me whatever they got right there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. It never failed. It was always right when you were checking out. You done ate your meal and everything. And yes, you could be at Wendy's or Burger King.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
first thing you say is, can you get me a hamburger steak? Like, they don't have that here. Well, just get me something.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
He would eat anything. I've never seen him turn anything down.
No.
Let me ask you this quick, because y'all two probably seen it happen a lot. Oh, when you imitate him in front of him, what does he say? Does he say it? Does it phase him?
Goes along with it.
Yeah.
No. Sometimes he say, no, cousin, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. He'll correct you on it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it don't phase him. I guess so many people do it, though.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it'd be
everybody does.
different if you were the only one doing it. He'd probably look at you funny, like, what are you doing? But everybody does it.
Yeah.
Whether you
I
are a
talked to
Kingsman
him,
or
I
not,
told him,
everybody can impersonate
I
him.
called Ray 3 days ago, and the first thing, as soon as he says hello, I said, "Hey, cousin," and he'll say, "Hey, cousin." Well, it's just ingrained in you.
Yeah, what are you doing? Just in here watching Gunsmoke. What are you doing?
And he'll have the TV up so loud.
That's all you hear.
Oh, I'm thinking, Ray, turn that down. I'm like,
oh my God, Ray, are you in war? You need my help? Oh no, it's just Gunsmoke.
Turn that TV down, cousin. Anyway, so.
Oh, man.
Yes, you would be in your bunk, the slide door shut, and you would still hear. I'm like,
oh yeah, you hear
out of town.
Oh yeah,
No,
you hear gun shooting and
Gunsmoke.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mercy. Drew, is there a hidden talent that you have that most gospel music fans wouldn't know about?
I don't really know. Probably I can eat and not gain a pound. My wife will tell you that most of my paycheck goes to groceries.
That would be a wonderful talent for me to have.
Let me have that talent then. Yeah.
But I don't really know of a hidden talent.
Well, the reason we asked that, Johnny Perrick was a mechanic.
Yeah.
Ernie Phillips was a plumber. I think, was it Cole? Cole Watson
HVAC.
did HVAC.
HVAC.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I guess if you would say something like that, you put me, like that's, run equipment and stuff. You put me in any piece of machine. If you give me a few minutes, I can usually figure it out. And
Okay.
pretty much, there ain't many machines I ain't ran from, little skid steers. So I've been in dozers and
Okay.
so
See, that's
big
a hidden
track.
talent.
So
Yeah, that's a hidden talent.
Yeah.
stuff
pretty
like
cool.
that, I guess you could say, you put me on a lawnmower, I can put somebody out of business now. I can write your name in cursive in that front yard. I can ride a lawnmower.
Wow, fun. So let's see. Do you have another funny road story before we close
Yes.
out?
Yes, and I know I'm saying it wrong. In Lancaster, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
even though them people up there say it's Lancaster.
They do. They
Lancaster.
Yes.
Well, I'll say about 15 minutes down the road is Lancaster, South Carolina. And if you walk up
Yeah.
there and say, "Am I in Lancaster, South Carolina?" they're gonna look at you funny.
Right.
So, but anyways, we were there, and Ray threw me off the stage.
Okay.
Well, right when I hit the ground, I just see Ray running. Alan grabs him. It's like, Ray, and we're on a platform in an auditorium. So this ain't when I jumped off, it's probably my rib cage, if not a little higher. Like it.
Okay.
And then too, when you're on a jump as auditoriums, the hills are going. So when you hit the ground, it's kind of awkward because
That's true. Yeah.
it's gradually the grade is going up.
Yeah.
Well, Races are running. He's ready to take a jump. Well, Alan does. Well, I guess when Ray, it got a call in by surprise, and then he came to a sense like, yeah, maybe not a good idea. He takes Alan and pushes Alan.
Oh my.
Well, when Alan hit, and this was the only time and the last time, unless he's done it since I came off the road, his foot ever left the platform, except for one time he would take the stairs. He'd go, even if he had to go behind the balcony, he'd take the stairs.
Yeah.
When he pushed Alan hit that ground like a ball on fire.
Oh gosh.
And with the grade being like, hey, Paul, and there was this little old woman sitting up there, and Alan just coming straight for her. And I look back, and all I can think of, oh my God, we're about to kill this old woman right here at the Kingsman concert.
Oh my
So
word!
that was a pretty funny
That-
moment, you know.
Well,
That's good.
Kingsman Jim Hamill threw me off the stage one time at Inspiration Park,
Yeah.
and I wasn't going to jump, and he grabbed me.
You and
threw me
Chris,
off.
yep.
And it was a pretty high jump, and so I could have, and it was dark. It was outside.
Outside, yep.
There was people down in the front, and there were a couple
I
bells
think
that
he
hang
threw
down there.
you, Chris,
Yes, Parker,
Randy Miller,
and
jumped
Tim
off.
Lovelace.
Was it never been this homesick? I think is when he did.
Yeah.
He threw me off, and I tell you what, from then on, and I hate to admit this, but this is Behind the Crown podcast.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then on, when Jim Hamill would come out, I would get away from him. I'm serious. He would come out, we'd be blowing and going, and I'm gonna take my mic as far as I can away from him because I knew he was gonna grab me and try to throw me off.
Yeah.
He's gonna sling you like his jacket.
I didn't want to twist my leg or twist my foot or nothing. So I got so far because Hamill he moved a little slower, so he couldn't. I mean, he wasn't going to just sneak up behind you and you'd see him coming.
Yes.
And I got away from him because man, he threw me off there in Inspiration Park, and I thought, man, he could have easily broke my leg. And but I thought I'm going to just get away from him. But anyway, that's another podcast.
There you go. That's another great story there. Wow.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, there's so many stories. Some I can tell and some I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty funny one just because I happened to turn around just in time to witness it all. And I don't know what the little old woman, I never could see her face. But when Alan hit the air, when he hit the ground, if you could see his face, it was like he knew, like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
He saved himself. But after that, he said, never again.
Oh, goodness.
That's great. That is great.
Drew, we appreciate you joining us tonight on Behind the Crown podcast. This has been another great episode. You did a great job, and we appreciate your insight and got to learn a little bit
Thank
more
y'all for
about
having
you.
me.
And we just enjoyed it, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It was fun going down memory lane. When y'all told me, I kind of got nervous. I was like, man, I can't remember nothing. So,
you did great, man.
This is the first time I've really sat down probably since I came off the road and just talked about the road. So it was fun, blast from the past.
We appreciate your dedication and your time with Kingsman, and you're a Kingsman alumni, and the old saying, once a Kingsman, always a Kingsman.
Always a Kingsman.
And maybe we'll see you down the road sometime, but we appreciate you taking time tonight to join us.
Yes, sir. Well, I really do appreciate it. And thank y'all for what y'all do to keep the legacy going, because I'm sure there's other stuff y'all could be doing, so for y'all to take, the initiative and to do it. I can speak for all the Kingsmen and fans. They appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Drew. I appreciate it, man. Really did.
Yes,
really
sir.
Did.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this great episode Behind the Crown podcast. Be sure to listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and all major podcast streaming platforms. Also in the social media world on Facebook and on Instagram. And then we also have a YouTube channel, Behind the Crown Podcast. Be sure to join us next week as we have another great guest lined up on Behind the Crown Podcast.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Behind the Crown Podcast with your hosts, Brian Hudson and Josh Griffin. If you would, please like, rate, and share this episode. Join us again for another episode of the Behind the Crown Podcast.